Think of Hong Kong and what images come to mind? Imposing skyscrapers, bright neon lit streets, steaming street stalls where customers perch on plastic chairs to chow down on delicious local cuisine. Hong Kong's open-air restaurants, or Dai Pai Dong as they are more commonly referred to, are a symbol of Hong Kong's culinary history, and once lined the streets here in their thousands. Scour the city these days though, and you'll find less than 30 of these much-loved stores still standing. So what happened to this foodie institution? Sit back and let your mouth water, because in this episode, we're going to dig into the fascinating story behind the city's Dai Pai Dong, along the way dining at a couple of these historical gems and chatting to one of the last remaining stall owners in the city. This is Hong Kong Hoods.
Hi everybody and welcome to Thai Hang, where we're going to start off the day at Binh Key, one of the most renowned Dai Pai Dong in the city. We're going to sit down for a meal in a couple of minutes, but first let's talk about the story of these precious pieces of Hong Kong food culture up until now. Dai Pai Dong, as we know them today, came about in the wake of World War II, when the government gave out thousands of food vendor licenses to families who found themselves with dead or injured relatives and were struggling to make ends meet. These food vendor licenses meant that many families could make a living without the burden of having to pay rent. The deal was, though, that the vendors had to display the large licenses issued to them prominently about their stall to prove their legitimacy. And that's where the name Dai Pai Dong, or Big License Stall, came from.
It only took around a decade until the government started regretting its decision to allow such a large number of open-air restaurants, as concern mounted over their hygiene and the noise and pollution they caused. Not to mention the chaos for traffic in a city whose population in the second half of the 20th century was beginning to swell. In the late 1950s then, the government began to limit the issuing of vendor licenses and swiftly made them untransferable, even from parents to children, with the intention of gradually killing off the Dai Pai Dong. And it worked, as these open-air restaurants have been dwindling in numbers for the past 60 or so years.
Now the smell coming straight from the street side is sadly rare in Hong Kong these days, but it is still so enticing. So let's go in and see what's on offer. Dai Pai Dong are known for offering quick comfort food, things like wok fried noodles, meat and rice, rice porridge, and also Western snacks like sandwiches and toast. And usually Dai Pai Dong have a specialty for which they are especially known. Here it's pork chop noodle soup, which looks absolutely fantastic. And we've also got some condensed milk butter toast and a side of marinated chicken wings. All this looks absolutely fabulous, so let's dig in. So good. So good. I was speaking with a regular earlier who comes from another part of the city especially to get this soup. And you can tell why. Very peppery, it's got a very nice zing to it, and the pork is so tender. And the noodles are super bouncy, and it's all just complemented by this perfectly done egg. What more can you want in a bowl of soup? This is absolutely fantastic. Genuinely so good. I've never had condensed milk and butter on toast before, but that is really good. Kind of sweet, extremely rich, and it's so Hong Kong because Hong Kong is obsessed with condensed milk. At many a Dai Pai Dong and cafe in the city, you can even have condensed milk in your tea. good, very good.
Following those delectable bites at Binh Ki, we're gonna head across town to experience more of Hong Kong's Dai Pai Dong culture by eating at another top-rated food stall before chatting with its owner about her stall and the industry in general.
So where we are now in central / Shangguan has one of the biggest concentrations of Dai Pai Dong of any area in the city, and we are here now at possibly the most famous Dai Pai Dong in this area, Yuen. Now this place is super cool, really breezy. You're in the middle of a thoroughfare with lovely little steps going up the hill, and people are here just chilling, enjoying a quick snack. Now these guys are especially famous for their tomato noodle soup, which you can get with rice noodles and instant noodles, but I definitely recommend going for the macaroni. Now I've got this little concoction in front of me that looks hot but looks equally delicious. We've got the macaroni tomato soup obviously, and then there's ham and luncheon meat. So I'm going to dig in right now, see how it tastes, and see if this place lives up to all the hype. Let's do it. That is really nice. Okay, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. My missus has just had a taste of this behind the camera, and she said it tasted very much like Campbell's tomato soup. Now I wouldn't know. We were a bit more of a Heinz family, but either way, this definitely, it screams out nostalgia. This is just like something your mum might make you as a kid while you were watching cartoons. It gives you the warm and fuzzies, and it does exactly what Dai Pai Dong food should do. It makes you feel good. Comfort food 101. Yum. So a running theme of Dai Pai Dong is the colour green. It's everywhere, and actually it doesn't just end at Dai Pai Dong, it's everywhere in the city. So for the past few months, I've been racking my brain thinking, what is Hong Kong's affinity with the colour green? Well, after a little bit of digging, I found out that apparently it's all down to World War II, because during the war, the military used tons of green paint in order to paint their tanks and equipment, and so after the war, there was a surplus of green paint, tons of the stuff around. Now, as you know, paint is great for protecting metal from rust. So after the war, a lot of people, in order to protect their equipment, Dai Pai Dong, their fences, whatever it was, they used the cheapest and most widely available colour, which was green. So green it was, and to this day, apparently green it still is. Earlier at Binh Ki, we were lucky enough to enjoy condensed milk butter toast. But we've actually leveled up even in decadence, because here we're about to enjoy butter, condensed milk, and kaya, which is coconut jam originating in Southeast Asia. Now it looks absolutely fantastic, and it's also cool because it shows what a cultural melting pot Hong Kong is, with culinary influences from all over Asia and the world. So I'm going to crush the lemon in my lemon tea, as is customary in Hong Kong, and then I'm going to dig into both of these things. Let's see how they are. Wow, 2 words, food heaven. That is incredible. What a meal that was. I'm absolutely stuffed. And to finish it all off now, we're going to get the chance to speak to the 2nd generation owner of this Dai Pai Dong. So let's do it.
呢度咧係上環美倫街大排檔，叫聖香園。咁呢個大排檔咧係有60幾年歷史㗎啦，1957年出嘅個牌。咁我咧係呢一個大排檔嘅第2代傳人，我叫李愛蓮，通常嚟過啲人叫做 Irene 姐嘅。我今年60歲啦。咁我拍拖嘅時候，即係講緊30、40年前咧，係通街都大排檔。我哋啲即係平民百姓啊，係去大排檔食嘅。咁啲細路仔唔會嘅喎，啲爸爸媽媽揾到錢咧，就會帶去餐廳嘅，唔會帶去大排檔嘅。咁所以咧，我哋嘅下一代對大排檔其實佢哋模糊嘅，即係佢好奇怪。香港對上咗年紀嘅人，佢會有一種情意結，因為佢由細食到大。 對新一代佢會覺得反而新奇，因為佢好少接觸。咁我哋所吸納嘅人群咧，就係都個幅度都好大嘅，由幾歲啲阿爺阿嫲帶嚟食，咁到10幾20歲做功課，最大群族我哋真係好多讀完書，即係20多歲嗰陣，本來對大排檔嘅模糊啦、陌生啦、好奇啦，跟住尋真啦，咦 OK 喎，嗰個感覺好特別喎，同普通見嘅餐廳啊、酒樓啊、高級嘅，就算even會所，佢冇呢個感覺。咁可能佢會覺得喺呢度咧，佢揾到一啲佢覺得好香港嘅感覺咯。大排檔嗰種待客嘅方式，唔係普通高級餐廳啊，或者普通茶餐廳 ABC 餐啊，或者高級大餐廳點樣去 serve 係買個 serve 咯。我哋都係冇 serve 嘅，冇服務可言。你哋都話幾位啊？坐啦，食咩啊？喂咁嘅，即係佢可能有我又唔可以講佢哋犯賤嘅，不過就呢種感覺咧，佢就會令到覺得好活啊！呢度真係有一種熱嘅感覺咯，佢哋中意呢種感覺。所有係大排檔係活動式嘅，即係呢啲咁嘅門啊，其實幾十年㗎啦，就係會接得埋嘅，全部係活動式嘅。大概7、6年先頂嚟做，咁所以我係真係做咗45年。咁嗰個靠牆大排咧，只可以橫傳，老公轉俾老婆，老婆轉俾老公，係唔可以下傳嘅。咁2009年定2010年咁上下個時間啦，嗰陣時啲食環署啊，同埋啲市民就發覺冇晒啲大排檔啦，咁佢覺得應該保留，咁咧佢哋就可能啲市民表達啊，或者政府官員有見及此啊，咁佢哋咧就會做咗個 search， 係喎，原來得翻20幾檔喎，要保留啦，咁啊就下傳一次，只此一次，係冇。如果政策唔變，係唔會再有第2次下傳嘅。所以街嗰啲大排檔真係少一個就冇一個㗎啦。係啊，真㗎，係真㗎。咁我哋係即係兄弟姊妹做嘅，咁咪大家一齊做咯。我哋呢度咧真係聚咗啲人氣，咁我哋嚟到咧係個個都係啲朋友識啊。我唔知道會唔會保留，係由市民去決定。咁啊變咗可以喺度，我哋幾個兄弟姊妹做到幾耐咪幾耐。我唔敢講可以幾耐咯，係啊，咁希望10年8載啩，我都唔敢講。永遠 never say never。拜拜，OK， see you soon。
Well, that was so nice meeting Irene J and getting to know her, and it also gave us some valuable insight into the everyday lives of Dai Pai Dong owners around the city. Unfortunately, there are only a few areas left in Hong Kong where Dai Pai Dong still operate, and going off what Irene J just told us about licensing laws, it could be just a matter of years before Dai Pai Dong are extinct here altogether. Of course, this is sad, but it gives all the more reason to treasure these street-side food stalls while we still have them. So if you haven't already, I urge you to get out and visit these Dai Pai Dong stalls and try each one of their signature dishes so you can become a part of this long, rich piece of Hong Kong's history for yourself.
And that concludes our exploration into the history of Hong Kong's open-air restaurants. I hope you found it as interesting as I did, and if so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and feel free to let us know where or what you would like us to cover next in the comments below. See you next time on Hong Kong Hoods.